seen as hostages because they need to hide in the basement or in the underground. They have no ability to go out. Some of the people, spend whole days and nights hiding there, and there is no food supplies at the moment. So we are on the verge of the humanitarian crisis, and Russia knows that, and they deliberately continue shelling, and it just continues. So it still continues, so that people will not be able to go out. I myself wasn't outside today because of the constant shelling that goes on.
So you mentioned food supplies. There are reports of food and medicine shortages in many cities. Can you explain to us what the situation is like in Kharkiv at the moment, how you experience it?
Well, it's no transportation is possible right now because the Russian missiles system and the rockets, they fall on the streets. So the shops in the residential areas are not supplied with food. For example, where I live, there is completely nothing right now in the shops. So shelves are completely empty. And everything what was left, people already bought that. So we have today I wasn't outside, but yesterday there was some supply of bread, and people were standing in long line before the bread kiosk, in front of the bread kiosk, to get a loaf of bread, one in one hand, and also there were lines in front of the small shops of people who wanted to get in because there was so little and so many people wanted to get something that there were this line. So apparently it's already a critical situation because Russia is deliberately blockading the city, and so their supplies are not possible. That's why we are calling an emergency and calling for international humanitarian organizations to push and make some kind of corridor that where the supplies to the city could be organized.
Thank you very much, Maria Avdeeva, a resident in Kharkiv. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can now go to Kyiv, where I'm joined by Natalia Rebenko. She's a lawyer based in the Ukrainian capital. Then, Natalia, when you look outside your window right now in Kyiv, what do you see?
Hello. What I don't see is people. There are very, very few people on the streets because we have airstrikes warning like every hour. So most of people are hiding in their basements or shelters, and they're afraid to go out. However, the situation is stable, tense but stable. The Ukrainian armed forces still have control over the city. But as I said, the situation is very, very tense. I tried to enter the supermarket yesterday. However, there was a very long queue. I counted like 150 people trying to get in. So I could not enter. I still have my supplies, so I decided to try to go out and try to enter today.
So what about, you mentioned long queues at the local supermarket there. What's the general situation in Kyiv if we are talking about food and medicine supplies?
It can be seen that there is a shortage. There is a shortage because only few supermarkets and pharmacies are open. So people try to get in and buy everything what is there. And from our local authorities, we receive the list of open supermarkets and pharmacies every day, and people go there from the very early in the morning and try to buy what they can.
Are you personally affected by the fighting?
I hear fighting on my street every night. And of course, these airstrikes warning are very, very, morally it is very, very, very difficult. Because the first 2 nights I went to shelter, every time when the airstrike warning came, my boyfriend tries to help the territorial defense unit in the region where he's now.
So what's the mood like? Do you feel that you are getting the help from the international community that you need?
We are very grateful for